eye discipline. We're going to go sequentially in this game. Big thing here is you see Bosa is going to get drawn by the puller, and they actually have the receiver trying to block down on him, and he follows the puller and does such a good job with what he thinks is correct that they don't even have to down block. Greenlaw bites on the pull as he should. The only guy really sitting here is Fred Warner, but now they've got leverage, outside leverage from the two guys that turn around and run the on the reverse, and they just can't make plays. You got a convoy of big guys out front. Really really just a special run, and you just think like, oh, here, if you're a Detroit Lions fan, like my best friend, old coach, he's sitting up in just outside of Detroit at this point. He told his family he wasn't going to go to spaghetti dinner with the rest of the group. He's going to sit at home, watch the game by himself, enjoy it. The rest of them are Packers fans, I think. And at this point, I think he probably turned off the TV and went for a swim. He thought the game was over. You just love how they did this on this is a 3rd and 11 play. The Detroit Lions, and you say this when you watch the Detroit Lions over the course of the last maybe month. Against a number of teams, they lost. If they were losing snaps, it was because they weren't tackling. I think I showed this versus the Dallas Cowboys a month ago. Schematically, they're sound. They play extremely hard. They make tackling mistakes or falling down during route mistakes. But look at this forced checkdown. So they bring the two linebackers. They're running a base defense, or excuse me, I think they have a 3-3 in here right now. So Ancelotti's on the top there, but they've got linebackers are going to drop, and all they're really trying to do is stay in front of the sticks here. And they do such a good job of keeping all three guys in front of them, forcing the check down early. Again, Brock Purdy's just trying to get into a rhythm. It's 3rd and 11, but Jack Campbell comes down here and just absolutely hammers McCaffrey. And they just do such a good job early on of dictating tempo, being the more physical football team. Really fantastic. 3rd and 9 play. And again, I just love the convoy. And you see what Penei Sewell, when they talk about how excited they were coming out of college, he was a little bit raw. Under Hank Fraley, he's really, developed into maybe the premier right tackle in the game. Really, really special guy. Big man rolling, and you just see what they just erase these fellas. Laporte here doing a great job on this Chase Young effort, not a fantastic effort player. But look what Sewell does a number of times this game versus first-team All-Pro Fred Warner. Fred's a great player, but obviously a mismatch. I just think the Lions' offensive line was overwhelming. You see the double teams here. Montgomery doesn't score on this play, but you see the surge, particularly between the center and the left guard. Incredible. Now, Purdy is the system quarterback, right? You can't – we talk about – when you talk about who is how a lot of these guys are defined, a lot of the stuff just comes to, like, can you make off-schedule plays? They obviously made a bunch of them in Green Bay last week, and a couple of things he did this week. Just biding time with his feet, find people to throw to. Use check, Harvard guy. I love this. Harvard, let's go. Drink it up. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. We got 2x2. They go motion over to trips. And you see here, as they motion, they decide to bring Ancelotti off the side. So I don't know if this is a stun or a dog adjustment, or they have this called in the huddle. So we're going to drop back on the corner. And what that does is that leaves McCaffrey into open space in the flat. I know a tackling guy. It happens to be me. Do you guys need help tackling? Because I just don't understand. Bad. Campbell, bad. Bad. Cam Sutton, bad. I mean, just like, come on, guys. You love the way they get to the football, but also you're going, guys, you're up 14-0. All you got to do is tackle the ball carrier in the field of possession, and you're going to win this football game. Backside here, so Ancelotti and McCaffrey, I don't know what kind of beef they have, but you can see them going back and forth all game. Got to fire your gun here. Campbell's reading this play side on the double team, but Ancelotti's just got a fire right there because Campbell's going to get ate up. doesn't really even want to be part of it. You make that contact obviously on the end zone there. Dre Greenlaw last week did a good job of standing up the running back in the hole. Other side of the football, not so interested. We talked about this pressure equals picks. Now, Aiden Hutchinson is on one for the last couple of weeks, playing really, really high level. We talked about last week with the Green Bay Packers game. Right tackle, right guard for the San Francisco 49ers are susceptible to getting bold. You can collapse the pocket on them. What I loved about this all game is Aiden Hutchinson does such a good job of getting to level and then collapsing that pocket. And it ends up helping out the defensive tackle here. They're in a kind of a shifted over set here where everybody's forced on the left side of the center. You got three guys on the left side of the center. They come back over to the right guard and start bulling. But you see Hutchinson is going to bull in now and create that pressure. And so that defensive tackle gets his hands on the ball. Malcolm Rodriguez gets the pick. But it's all because Hutchinson doesn't go high. He gets to level and bull rushes in. Something we talked about at length last week when we were doing our matchup show. We got under center. And they got the crack toss, but they do it backwards with the flick. So they open up to hold the linebackers. Goff flicks out to his left to Gibbs. And there's a couple things here. One, Gibbs is going to make this guy miss. You got to break down a little bit better. He's such a special player. Him and Bijan Robinson, I don't know who's 1 and 1A, but Bijan Robinson's amazing too, as far as guys that just came into the league that really make defensive safety, secondary guys sweat because you close your eyes and they're gone. Here's what I just don't understand. Chase Young, I think it's like first, second pick of the draft at Ohio State. And, when you watch him, he's just not he's such a freak athlete. Like he looks like physically, you just go, what an imposing figure. But the pass rush hasn't developed. Like when you watch his technique, to how high he is, it looks like he doesn't put, I don't know the guy at all. But you see the effort on some of the pursuit stuff, and you just go, man, really? Like, this is what you're bringing to the table? This is the big trade? I mean, that's crazy. From a commander standpoint, you start looking at it and go, got to feel pretty good about that trade if you got some good draft picks coming up. Penei Sewell again pulling around, and you see the vision. He's got Greenlaw, both safeties coming down, corners already being blocked. And Greenlaw just decides, like, okay, I think I'll run around and get a better pursuit angle here. I'll let 27 take the brunt of this. This reminds me of something that I always talk about because the draft's coming up. Don't sleep on speed. For all the strength coaches, the offensive line coaches that say, hey, the 40 doesn't matter to the offensive lineman, you name me an offensive lineman who runs a sub 540 that's not good, or a 320-pound guy who runs like a 5'0", 5'1", who's not a good player in the National Football League. Like, speed matters. It is a great proxy for overall athleticism, fast twitch. These guys are athletes. They train like athletes. This guy's an absolute unit. Look at him moving out there. And what it allows a guy like that to do, and what's so exciting, I think, why Penei Sewell isn't getting he's not getting first team All Pro because he's a good pass pro guy. He is, but that's not why he's getting first. He's getting first or second team All Pro. Like him and Lane are probably gonna bounce that back and forth for a while now, because he is so physically dominant, so powerful, so explosive, so violent in the run game that it jumps off the screen. And you don't need to get like some stat guy or some blah, blah. When you watch it, it pops off the screen, but it's the power development, and that is manifested in a large way in his ability to produce force and get a fast 40 time. So guys out there, when you're watching the 40s and linemen, they think that it doesn't matter. It matters. It matters. If you're good at it, draft him. Zach Tom, draft him. Look at the window here. I love when they throw into this box of like four guys. Obviously, they're not all covering, but zone defense. Jared Goff, when he sets his feet, he just picks guys apart. We're going to show how this play plans out. I'm Ross St. Brown, such a good player. So they run the switch release here. And what they're really going to do is they're going to run the clearance and make sure that Brown leaves with the clear, and that just kind of really frees up Amon-Ra St. Brown to have to cross Fred Warner's face, and Fred's not going to be able to keep. I mean, they're in zone and they match late on the high safety, so Fred's not going to follow him across here as if they're manned up, and if they are, it's a mismatch. So Ben Johnson does another great job of getting a play call. We got 4th and goal here. This is one of the decisions that nobody talks about, but it is something they could think about. Look, it's 4th and goal. They're up 21-7. They take the points. Could they go up 28? They're only on the, I think, yard and a half line here, right? So this is the right decision, but it also isn't necessarily on brand with what the Lions do. Like, they could have gone up 20. If they go up 28-7 here, is the door closed? Probably.